Welcome to Wake Up the Nation. On today's show, I will be talking about gs9 member Raja Derasant, the young 24-year-old black man who was just sentenced to 98 years in prison. Now, for those of you who do not know who Raja is, he is an associate of Bobby Smurda. Bobby Smurda is the young brother who made that song 2 years ago called Hot Nigga. And in the song, this man is literally talking about shooting brothers, talking about guns and killing, and his music, his lyrics have been used against him. As I speak this, Bobby Smurda is sitting in jail, waiting on his court date. But his homeboy, Raja, sentenced to 98 years in prison. Now let me read this article to you all. While Bobby Smurda's trial has been subjected to numerous delays, one of the gs9 associates originally arrested with the rapper in 2014 has just received his sentence, which is 98 years. The charges against Raja were also much worse than Bobby Smurda's, and the sentencing was not light. Raja was convicted on 22 total accounts, including 1 count of murder in the first degree and 5 counts of attempted murder in the second degree. You understand? So they hit this man with 22 charges. He was sentenced to 98 years and 4 months, meaning that he will be eligible for parole after 98 years. That's what's crazy about this sentencing. The judge, the jury, they know damn well that this black man will not see 98 years. He's going to be dead long before that. 24-year-old black man put into prison in the prime of his life. The reason why I did this broadcast was because I want my brothers out there to know that these crackers, they are not playing with you. They are waiting for you to make one little mistake. And once you make that mistake, they're gonna put you in prison and throw away the key. Now, I'm not saying what this man Raja did was a little mistake. After all, he was convicted of murder. You understand me? But we have to talk about why is it that so many of our black men are going to prison every single day? And why is it that so many of our young black men are being murdered in the streets like this is some third world country? Brothers, we must realize that in this country, they have what's called the prison industrial complex. And what that means is there are individuals out here who have found ways to put the black man back into prison. They are literally making money off of throwing black men into these prisons. I read an article a year ago about this judge who was convicted, and he's sitting in prison right now. He was convicted of selling black youth to the prison system. So when these young black men would go to court, he would convict them on trumped up charges, send them to prison, and then the people who own the prisons would pay him money. You can go look this case up for yourself. And this is going on all across America. You see, so brothers, let this be a reminder that this cracker is not playing with you. Too many of our young people get caught up in this street life, thinking that it's cool to be out there being a thug, being a gang member, being a gangster. making music, glorifying this lifestyle. And then comes a time when they have to face the music. And so now this young black male will never be able to see his mother again. Never be able to see his girlfriend, or never be able to see his child or his family again. His whole life is over with, brothers. Think about that. How do you tell a man that you are going to put him away for 98 years? And it will be 98 years before he's even eligible for parole. How do you tell a man that? Well, they did it, and they did it with a straight face. Just to let y'all know that they are not playing with y'all. It is open season on the black man. Straight up warfare. And many times our young people are falling right into the traps that have been laid out for them. So what we have to do as a nation of people, we have to figure out ways to stop this prison industrial complex. So what the black man can do right now is we have to get out here in these streets, and we have to start teaching our young brothers. We have to start mentoring our young men. We need more black men to go to college and become teachers and go behind enemy lines so we can teach these young black youth. Because when you go to these schools, these black males are rebelling because they don't have that male dominant black figure in there to teach them what's right. And so they are rebelling against this system. We have to start building our own schools, brothers, just like Dr. Umar Johnson. He's building a school right now for young black boys. He needs $2 million. And everybody listening to this should be donating to that man's cause, because that school that that brother is building is going to help our brothers stay out the streets, help our brothers become future leaders so they don't get sentenced to 98 years in prison and have to spend the rest of their life behind bars. See, the power is in our hands. We have to take back our youth. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when you go to these prisons and you talk to most of these young men, what will they tell you? They'll tell you that they did not have a father in the household. Most of these brothers never knew their fathers. Most of these brothers maybe met their father once or twice, so they didn't have that male dominant figure in their life to discipline them. Now, when we look at this brother Raja, and we look at Bobby Smurda and all of these other young rappers who is talking about the violence in their music, we have to follow the money. Who is signing these young men to record labels? These are Europeans. These are so-called Jews who own these record labels, who control the music industry, who sign these young brothers to labels and promote this death hop, because they're making money off of our destruction. They're making money off of these young brothers talking about killing each other. And when they're done using these young men up, they throw them to the side. And that's what you see. Where's the record label at now? The record label's not putting any money up to help these young men, because I told y'all once before, we are living in a country that has what's called the prison industrial complex. So the more that these young brothers talk about killing each other, they influence the minds of other young brothers, and they go out and kill their own and sell drugs. And what happens? They get caught up in the system, and the enemy makes money off of them. The enemy makes money off of these brothers going to prison. The enemy makes money off of these brothers killing each other. However, we keep missing that point. So it's on us as black men, it's on us as teachers to get out here in these streets and let our people know and bring awareness to the beast that is seeking to destroy the future of our black men. Black men, we have to be fathers to our sons. And not just fathers to our sons, but it's so many of our brothers locked in prison, so many of our black men are dead, that we have to be fathers to young black boys who are not our sons. One would wonder what would have happened if we would have been able to talk to this young man before he turned to them streets. One must wonder what would have happened if he would have had a mentor, a black man who would have set him down and taught him, hey man, there's a system that is set up for you to fail. A brother who would have told him, look man, don't go down that road because that road leads to death and destruction. Our black men must know, and I'm telling them right now, as a 28-year-old black man living in America, that you as a black male are an endangered species in America. You have become prey to your open enemies. And before I go any further, I must say rest in peace to the young man who was murdered. Rest in peace to the young brother who lost his life, because we must remember that this man was convicted of killing a 19-year-old brother. So my condolences go out to the family. But this goes deep, y'all. And if we don't get control of our communities, if we don't get control of our neighborhoods, then this cycle is going to continue. So to all my brothers out there who want to get into this hip hop, who want to get into that gang life, you better think twice. I'm speaking from experience because I used to live that life. I used to be in them streets, running with a gang, toting guns, and I seen so many of my homeboys killed, put in prison. I remember one brother, I had just seen him 2 days before he was shot in the chest with a 12 gauge shotgun by another black man. And the police left that man in the street for hours before they came and picked his body up. Because in America, black life does not matter. But black life has to matter to us, brothers. Black life has to matter to us. So what I'm saying to my brother is that let this be a reminder that your enemy is trying to destroy you. So you better get your mind right. You better try to go to a trade school, learn how to be a barber, learn how to be an electrician, learn how to be a mechanic and go start your business up. You better go to college, get your degree, go become a lawyer, become a doctor, become an engineer. Or you can just get your grind on and start your own business up. But you are going to have to do whatever it takes to stay out of the white man's prison, the white man's dungeon. And so many of our brothers is going to prison that they won't be able to see their children grow up. And so this cycle continues. So when you out here in these streets and you live in that life, just know that your decisions don't just affect you. They affect your whole entire family. And your decisions can affect your family from 5 generations from now. So the black man must be woken up. The black man in America is mentally dead. And he must be resurrected. So brothers, the ones who are in the know, the ones who know that this system is a foul, evil system, then what we have to do is we have to get out here in these streets and we have to teach our young people. We have to do whatever it takes to try to get them to fly right. Even if you could save one brother, then you have done a mighty work. 98 years. Might as well just say 100 years that this black man has been sentenced to. Never will see the light of day again. So let this be a lesson, brothers, that the enemy is on the attack.